All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking here on Pulse tonight. Donald Trump is back in the news as he's also back on Facebook and YouTube. Now, returning to these social media platforms after a 2-year-long ban, Donald Trump now has access to these key online platforms. He can use these for possible political fundraising and also to reach the millions of his followers that he has online, as he's gunning to run for the top job in America again. Donald Trump said, "I'm back," in his post on the Facebook page and also on the YouTube channel. The post carried a short video clip of one of his speeches, and he's heard saying, "Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business." YouTube restored Donald Trump's channel on Friday. His Facebook and Instagram accounts were reinstated earlier this year. In the month of January, Meta had announced that it was restoring Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts, saying that the public should be allowed to hear from politicians. However, Meta has added that Donald Trump will be subjected to heightened penalties for repeated violations of the rules in the past. Now, the former American president was banned from social media platforms in 2021, just days after the 6th of January insurrection, when a mob of his supporters had stormed inside the U.S. Capitol in Washington. He was banned for posting content that the platforms said incited unrest. So let's take a look at Donald Trump's following online. At this moment, he's said to have got about 34 million followers on Facebook, 23.4 million on Instagram, 2.6 million on YouTube, and about 87 million followers on Twitter, despite the fact that he's not tweeted for almost over 2 years. Donald Trump is running for the presidency again. He's now got access to major social media platforms. Remember, he powered his 2016 campaign by the use of social media, especially through his tweets. He can again now use these tech platforms to once again reach out to his followers. And in his very first video, after his accounts were restored, he is already seen to be promoting his 2024 run. And to give us more perspective in terms of how the reinstatement of Donald Trump's social media accounts will actually impact American politics, we're being joined by Dr. Christina Iona Dragomir, who is a New York-based political analyst and also a professor at the Columbia University. Now, Dr. Dragomir, this is a moment that a lot of people within American politics have been looking forward to. Donald Trump in 2016 was such a huge force on social media. He effectively powered his presidential campaign, some would say, through the power of his tweets. He was banned from social media sites after the violence that took place on the 6th of January after he lost his election. But now he's back on social media sites. What kind of an impact do you think he'll now make in 2023?
Hello, Mohammed. Great being with you and with WION again. It is not a surprise that Donald Trump decided to be back on Facebook and on other social media platforms. Platforms like Facebook and also like Instagram are platforms that reach out to a very large number of people, much larger than his true social already touches upon. I think there are three main reasons why this move is very important for us today. And the first one is that Facebook has been the most important tool for Mr. Trump to gain support and, most importantly, to gain donors. So when he lost his Facebook support, he also lost a lot of the donors that came with that. So right now we are seeing him pivoting back towards Facebook because this would lead to a very large income for him. The second one is that through social media like Facebook and also like Instagram, he can reach people that other people that are in the Republican Party, like his opponent, DeSantis, are reaching. Through social, he's reaching a lot of the people, but they're already Trump supporters. They're already in the Trump camp. So for him, preparing for the presidential elections, as you rightfully said, so it's actually very important to rally the Republican base. And the Republican Republican base, as your viewers probably already know, it's split already into multiple candidates. So he's trying to reach attention from that again. And I think that's also important. That's something that we really need to keep in mind is the indictment that is most likely to come next week. By doing that, by reaching out via Facebook, by reaching out via other social media platforms, he is able to reach out to a very large audience that is watching.
Absolutely, indeed, Dr. Dragomir. You know, I just need to interrupt you there because we also need to address the elephant in the room. It is true that Donald Trump is a polarizing personality and with his views will attract a lot of, support that he already has, the Republican support base that he does. But the question is also about the content which these social media sites will now allow on their platforms. Because when they banned him, they said that he was actually spreading fake news. He was inciting his supporters to cause violence. And now that they've reinstated him and knowing the kind of rhetoric that he will now resort to, do you think these social media sites, if he continues to gain a lot of popularity like he did back in 2016, will actually still go on and moderate the content that he does? Because Facebook has been infamous as one of those platforms that has just looked the other way, even when fake news has been spread in different parts of the world.
That's a very important point, Mohammed. I think that Facebook and the other social media are playing a very contorted limbo dance. They are trying to present themselves as being very objective. So on one hand, they are saying that they are treating Mr. Trump just like anybody else, just like any of their users. And they are applying exactly the same rules and regulations that are applying to all the other users. So that's on one hand, what they're saying. On the other hand, they know very well that not all users have the same power, not all users use the same content, and not all users are able to incite violence like we have seen happening on January 6th on American land. So as a result of it, they also have to walk a very fine line and say, yes, we are prepared to take action in the moment in which we see incitement to violence. But we know that by the time violence is actually produced, it's too late. The message is already out. The damage has already been produced. Facebook is very proud of itself of having an oversight board, which has human rights activists as well as lawyers who are drafting and redrafting rules and regulations, looking at the implications of using social media. But I would like to tell you one thing, and
right,
that
very
is
quickly, Dr. Dragomir, because we're short of time.
Yes, I think it's really important not only for social media to moderate its content, which is extremely important, but also for people to become social media savvy and
right.
also to become social media literate, because it's also really an important step for all of us to really educate ourselves and not allow this kind of content be persuasive in a violent manner or in a manner that is destructive towards the politics in the world, especially in the United States.
Absolutely, indeed, Dr. Dragomir. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from New York and getting us all those insights. It'll be very, very interesting to see as to how Donald Trump, of course, goes about using this incredible power that he's now been reinstated back with, where he's got access to these social media accounts. But it'll be interesting to see as to what kind of audiences that he will be able to pull again now that he's running for the top job in America. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.